Good evening. You are listening live to the Xtreme Movie Show. I'm your host, Rob, broadcasting to you from the Xtreme Studios here in the Pineless Palace, just west of Orlando, Florida. I also have that young 20-something from Central Florida himself, near the man with the mouse himself, the Walt Disney World. Of course, I'm talking about Professor Pixel. Pixel, Wayward Pines. I know our schedule past month or two has been a little off with summer and everything else that's going on here, but we're getting close to the end. And one thing we talked about as Wayward Pines goes is this. Great way to get us involved, a little bit Twin Peaks-ish, a little bit Prisoner-ish. Now it seems like my concern is being founded true after watching this episode 7, where we're just kind of deconstructing ourselves in a really lame action thriller, because we get an almost 5-second action piece here with a takedown in the middle of the street. Boy, that was a nail biter. And actually, really, if I have to be sincere and honest with everybody, which is what I like to do, this is the horny episode. This is where, all the school educators are teaching underage people to have premarital sex. Of course, it does not go right for them, with grave consequences to the men. The men have absolutely no libido whatsoever, and all these hot women around are wanting to take their clothes off. They're dressing up in beautiful hats and outfits, and they're quite fertile, I should say. So, very dumbfounding episode, because we don't care anything about what's going on with the sheriff in here. Or am I wrong? What's your initial take?
I think you're wrong. I'm enjoying this episode. Is basically just Ethan's hunt for these what do they call them? Well, basically homegrown terrorists. But yeah, no, I love the hunt. The school is pretty much saying, hey, you're not far off. Y'all get ready. You're going to be shacking up soon.
One thing they did not save for 2,000 years in the future is condoms, prophylactics, jimmies, whatever you want to call them.
Nope.
And my question for you here, even though you're saying I'm wrong, is how the hell does a friggin' Bronco survive 2,000 years? Huh? The logistics are completely done with this episode. That's what's pissing me off. There's no smart way to explain it.
But what I really with this episode, I do enjoy the chase. Like, going scene for scene for this one, it just isn't really like I don't think it's worth it, because it is pretty much Ethan's figuring out who's connected. Oh, Kate's the leader. He's able to get that quickly because her husband is caught in a conversation with the explosives expert, because there was a bomb in his truck.
Certainly more handsome in a down-to-earth masculine way. Her boyfriend / husband, of course, is certainly more pretty. I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, I guess.
You guess? Well, yeah, it's true, and it's germane to the story, because don't forget that they get pulled in to discuss why the hell they're not having children. Just saying.
They do halfway through
unresolved issues. And that's why he's going I got to blow things up route, because he really wants to distract everyone from the fact that he's got his hot mama here, and he's not producing, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, and because basically he and her aren't really in a relationship. I don't know even why they bother getting married, but
then is she the beard or what?
Oh no! Well, he has a fiance, and that's what he's holding out for. My fiance's out there waiting for me, even though they've been together 12 years? Did they say?
And she wants to get down. Yeah, it's been 12 years, and the thing about this episode too is I'm kind of dumping on it here a little bit. It feels so different. The first 3 felt like a certain thing, but in the middle 3, okay, we understood what the setup was, so we get that. So we get a little bit of a release, which you talked about. Now we get a buildup of tension here. But I'm just not feeling a threat or anything else like there. The Abbeys are ridiculous. This whole bomb thing to blow open the gate, it's just not doing it for me.
Really? I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. And we have 2 episodes left? I think it's
2 or 3. I think it's 10 episodes. This is episode.
Yeah, so 10. We have 2 episodes left. This is basically 8, a mad chase for the bombs. Left. And wait. Oh yeah, we're on. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 3 episodes left to go ahead and get it through. They didn't get the gate blown open this one. They had a backup plan, but that was able to be foiled because of 2 horny school kids.
Make that one.
One horny school kid. The other is just there.
She's got the schoolgirl outfit on, and she's kind of cute, but she looks like she's 12 in the face, which, whatever. But basically, she gets rapey on the guy. But we'll get to that.
What?
Let's try to go a little bit in chronological order for those that are showing up. Okay, let's reset the scene. Take two. So Twin Peaks, we find Ethan in town. He finds out that obviously now a sheriff in town, that he's been in a show of whatever you want to call it. He's been told by the main dude, aka cult leader, that, hey, look, we got these bad things outside. It's been a couple thousand years since I've abducted or took volunteers with me in my cult or my special government ops program. And we had this town because we're the last of humanity. And so we're having problems keeping the peace. And that's where you come in. But I'll be honest with you, you're the right man for the job. And we don't think that there's any other shenanigans going on with him. And he's a dope anyway. I don't mind him playing a low key loser because that's what he is. It'd have been better for someone more charismatic. But Ethan's stuck here trying to go, okay, now I know everything. What the hell do I do? And he's trying to tell his wife his son's getting indoctrinated at school. We've been seeing as a part of the first generation, because frankly, that's exactly what happens. The young people are the ones that the top level people care about. It's not the people that make the town work logistically. They take a second fiddle to the kids. You know, as they say, a child shall lead them, and they're looking forward to their first couple pregnancies that get mentioned here in this town. And as much as we hate the nurse, which is her sister or his sister, she's got so many juicy lines in this episode. Phenomenal. I'm going, it's hard to hate her now when she was such a bitch those first few episodes. And that proves to my point here that as we go through this episode, even though I feel for you, Ethan, I'm just not feeling the pressure or the terror in this episode. So I'm going, are we just kind of like casual drama now? There's no sense of whatever. And with the bomb getting ready to go off, we got 3 more episodes to go. It's like, really? It seemed like almost like a season finale type of episode if they were trying to build it to that, don't you think?
Yeah, it did feel like it was a build up for it, but which if we have 3 more episodes, there, I get a feeling of doom is coming, and I think we're all aware of that. But I'm surprised that the bombing was pretty much handled in this one. I forgot of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how it's all going to fall apart from here, except with Ethan going around. He talks to Harold. Is that the name of the explosives expert? He has this conversation. Hi, let me tell you something. I have a problem. Gophers. I heard that you were an explosives expert, which I guess he wants to blow suckers sky high.
Okay.
I don't see how that leads into it, but
It's
okay.
cute, right? It's a cute little exchange they have in the public. And you go, maybe the paranoid brain in your mind goes, hey, wait a minute, they record and watch all their conversations, which proves to be true in here, so he has to be coy. But I've got 2 things for you. And being the young 20-something, this won't resonate with you, but like, for example, Ed and Chad here is going to probably know what I'm talking about, as well as everybody else listening to the show that's of a certain age. That's a reference to Caddyshack, Bill Murray.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, that's what it is. I'm not saying that I know that. I'm simply suggesting that's exactly what it is, because that's the big scene at the end of Caddyshack where they plant explosives all around the golf course to blow up the gopher who's digging holes and has been Bill Murray's nemesis, the whole little subplot of the movie. Fantastic film, of course, filmed here in Florida. And to me, I looked at that and go, well, that's not Ethan. Why is he being coy? Then when he said gopher blowing up, went, oh my God, they're trying to be cute in front of everybody. And that, again, really brought to the forefront here that they're trying to just do stuff without this sense of doom. The only doom I felt, honestly, and it's because of mystery, and I'm bringing up a serious point here, is when his wife goes to the old plot and figures out there's like this hidden little thing, right? I mean, instantly we're intrigued. Well, did she find something that Ethan doesn't know about? Is it all connected? Is it something else? We don't know. But this is the same crap that, everybody went through and lost their shit on when Lost debuted. It wasn't the big opening scene with the jet and everybody landing and who lived and who died and the heroic doctor and all the characters would get introduced slowly over those first few episodes, and I should say seasons, really, right? But for Lost, it was about them finding that damn door. Like, oh my God, why is there a door on a tropical island? People went ape shit. Here we have a stupid little plot of land that she goes in there. She finds some rebar. She's just banging around. She's like, oh, and we forget she's not just a lonesome woman that also wants a good throbbing in bed, if you know what I'm saying. And she's cute too, and she still loves her husband, even though he's not willing to put out. She takes that rod and again, allegorical, if you will, she shoves it into the ground, and it's like, man, they're trying to make all sorts of inside sexual jokes in here too. It's
I don't
it's
see that, but
When he walks out of the gopher conversation, there's a pause there on the street. You look all the way down. Well, the next building is the toy store. Okay, adult toys. What's the store after that? It Swerve's Gym. It's like, really? In Twin Peaks, in Wayward Pines, they're going to have a gym, Swerve's Gym. I mean, it's like an inside joke that they're making up names for themselves to pop them, and it all fits together rather easily when you think about it. And again, it's what's the threat? Is it the Abbeys or is it this little group that says no? We just want to get out because when he meets with the FBI agent that
He's
he fooled around with, they have their conversation. It's actually pretty good. She explains to him in no certain terms, "Hey, I've been here for 12 years. I've got to get out." And he goes to explain to her what's going on. And then perhaps the best scene of this episode to me, it's unfortunate because in a weird way, I thought the two ladies that were involved with Ethan, his wife and his lover, they're the FBI agent who's actually the head of the terrorist group. I thought they actually have a unique chemistry on her, especially when they're talking in an elevator and the lover is wearing the really eccentric, hey, I want to get laid hat, an outfit because it's tremendous. And they're walking to town between the outside of the neighborhood. And it's them talking about how they both fear for Ethan. I thought, man, if she's working his wife to get at Ethan so she can get out, that's what a bitchy thing to do. But I've always been led to believe that she really did care for Ethan, even though it was a fling. They knew it was wrong. That like she says to her, "Hey, I just wish we met under different circumstances and, in another time and place, but I'm really concerned about Ethan. He told me all this." And the straight shooter, and from episode 1, maybe in episode 2 that nobody remembers, is a straight shooter and told us that, "Hey, you're going to be a part of this experiment in the town. You're going to wake up, so you need to just blend in and everything else there too." And it's like, that's complete bullshit because nobody believes that she's too damn smart. It's a joke. So I felt like, you bitch, you're working the wife or whatever because you don't want to get caught with the guy that you don't even like, probably because he doesn't put out. It just, none of this makes any sense. And I really thought these two ladies would have done a great job teaming up
because
together.
you're adding the element that was brought up this one episode of their fertility check-ins, which is for everybody. Obviously, the nurse expresses her disappointment, but nobody else talks about him that way. Nobody else is saying.
They brought up the logistics.
The wife doesn't. The wife isn't itching to jump her husband's bones. Funny enough, they are married because it was suggested to them. Is pretty much what they imply with the nurse saying, "I introduced the pair of you. Don't forget that." And they are in. Yeah, she is a beard because
she's like, "Are your periods regular? Yeah, everything's working order." I'm like, that was funny. That was a good exchange because you don't get stuff like that. And I'm like, this nurse is owning everything, but she's supposed to be evil. She's supposed to be evil, not in an over the top sort of way. No,
she's not really evil.
She's an intelligent flake, is what she is. Remember, she's an ex-drug addict, right? The sister of the cult leader, aka Doctor, who did have people abducted. Let's not sugarcoat it here. He's a bad dude. He did bad things. I don't care if his heart is sincere and he's a little schlubby guy with glasses and half balding, doesn't have a real man's haircut and all that, and just a basic loser and how smart he is and what his technology is. It's ridiculous. And he gets somebody that can't cope with life, who and his drug addicted sister, who's a nurse. Are you fucking kidding me? You really do believe in your vision, and you don't have a top level pro handling all that stuff? Get out of here, bro.
Well, they had a physician, but he hung himself.
That's true. Details.
Yeah. So, and plus they've had time. They've had time that she's long since recovered. She's not hooked on drugs currently. They haven't given anything to indicate that even. She just seems overly mischievous. Like, they did a bad thing in abducting people, yes, but the whole world was getting destroyed. So I mean, it's a balance it out.
No, it's not.
He's trying to preserve humanity.
This moral equivalency doesn't change the fact that he could have picked a bunch of, horny, dumb male teenagers, to have procreate with rather than middle-aged men who've, got broken relationships and try to bring them back to procreate and all that too. But no, he's having underage kids who in no way are fit to raise a child on their own. They could have done something with this. And again, I'm kind of half joking on all this stuff here too, but what's the focus of these last episodes supposed to be? It's not clear to me. It's all over the place.
I mean, it's somewhat split, but it's getting to the point where disaster is going to come, and we're going to have to balance it out then. But
All right,
no,
because if it doesn't,
right
as
now
long
we're
as the
just
Golden
on.
Abbeys don't come in, we don't have a show. I mean, honestly, that's really what it
Yeah,
is.
if the Abbeys come, that's why the terrorists are dangerous. They are dangerous because if they blow up the wall, it's not because the wall is just down. It's because the Abbeys will come in. Honestly, I'm surprised he doesn't just open the gate and say, "Okay, go,
Yeah.
get him out of here," and then
Yeah.
close the door. Honestly, that's what he should do. If you want to leave, you can go ahead. He gives a fair warning. There's nothing out there. But if you want to go, you have a good time. You enjoy. That's what. Just go ahead and cut that out because they're clearly focused on doing that. So there's no point in keeping them around. That's how I see it.
Can
The next
I
generation
give a
seems,
spoiler, sir?
huh?
Can I give a spoiler?
Sure.
Pseudo spoiler. I, after watching both seasons of the show, decided to read the trilogy, and I kind of liked them, and I kind of don't remember the third one. What I do remember how in the first few episodes when Ethan's out and about town and he's looking at climbing out and he sees and it's only there for a split second, but you see it's like a sniper in a guard tower at night and you hear a shot or two. So you've got your armed security people around, right? And I think it's the second book, maybe it's the third. I don't remember. What you do have is you've got some people that are outside basically as runners. They're on their own trying to get information on the activity, the behavioral component of these abnormal human beings, aka I don't know what you'd call a divergent line or whatever, as it were, where it split off and turned into this creature. And so I remember reading and thinking of the scene where the guys would describe how they'd sleep up really high up in trees in bags because the Abbeys only travel at certain times, and it was interesting to peel back the layers of what Abbeys are in terms of an animal nature rather than the goofy costume that we saw once or twice. That's what I'm saying. That didn't really work and never really communicated effectively visually what the threat these external things should have been. And I feel they needed to show them, but it might have done better if they didn't and built that up, because we don't really have that going on right now. And so it's deteriorated into this melodramatic soap opera thingy here. And while we care about Ethan, we know his situation. It's like he was gone that episode, and while that was a good episode, it started turning into like the Love Boat minus all the sex and partying or something. It's like a bad Fantasy Island episode where people really do learn their lesson, but it's not fun watching it. And there were a few evil Ricardo Montalban episodes, let me just say, as an agent of God. And I know I'm convoluting a lot of things out there, but that's for the older audience here on the Extreme Movie Show. This isn't a bad episode. It's just, again, where is this going? I'm like a woman. I'm in terms of a relationship, what are we doing here? Where are we going? Tell me a little bit more about some of the things that happened in here, what impression they made on you.
Where were we? I can't even. I forgot where we were. When it comes to Kate, her believing that my husband, Ethan's been brainwashed, and that making her rush the table. I'm glad that the plan overall failed. I liked that the nurse actually went ahead and did give Ethan access to the security tapes once he was aware that, okay, wait, there's something else going on. Where's your husband? Which we never find out where the husband is.
True.
So he could have a bomb. He could be elsewhere with a different bomb. But we know that he hands off the music box to Ted, the runner. And basically, the truck driver, he is making his last deliveries before he's going to go near the gate to switch. That's where we could assume he's going to go ahead and open the music box, have it play, and then the wall would blow up. But that doesn't happen because earlier in the episode, after school, like, haha, look, it's biology. What's his name? What's the son's name? Ben? Ben's girlfriend says, hey, let's go into the woods. And I know a fun way to get there. And they meet up at night. They hitch a ride on the truck without the truck driver knowing, get in the back, and basically she's waiting for him to make a move, waiting some time. And then as Ben starts looking around inside the truck, She notices the bag, opens it. Hey, it's a music box. Starts it playing, sets it down, goes to him, and they go behind a pallet, and they start kissing, and they cut away. But that's when Ethan gets. He's already caught up. He knows where Ted is heading, so he's going quickly to catch Ted, and that's when suddenly, boom, it blows up. But we can see quickly she's fine. Amy, I guess that's her name. She's up, she's walking, she's shocked. But Ben is laying there on the ground, face all bloody, and it seems that doom is near.
Yeah, and again, this is after the flake teacher who won't let the mom and see the school basically tell them it's okay to go ahead and screw, that's your job. And frankly, these teenagers are just that gullible that I'm going, wow, these are your best and brightest. Sure, they're dressed up like Catholic schoolboys and girls or whatever, but it just, I don't know. I find it compelling that the people that are in charge are really whacked out, and I feel like they could have done a better job of kind of throwing that irony in rather than these inside sort of jokes like with the whole golfers thing that I'd mentioned earlier with Bill Murray and the Gophers and all that stuff from Caddyshack. And again, think about the impotence of the men here and the ones that are supremely impotent with these women that want to make sweet, sweet love. They all have bombs. I mean, it's there's something to be said about that too. That I find humorous on some sort of inside level that's not really apparent because, as I said to you before, a realistic thing from the human side of it was whenever you have a situation with all the downtime you have, because again, people don't pay, they just show up and they carry around their coffee cups or whatever like that when they're walking in town and stuff. People are going to get so damn bored out of their mind, they're going to drink themselves to death, they're going to party, they're going to turn into a bunch of heathens as you were and party, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's human nature. You bust your ass, you work hard, you play hard, but they don't work hard there. And you don't see people doing stuff like, yeah, I know in my past life I might have been, say, a plumber, but here they have me delivering newspapers or something stupid and all that. That would drive you just absolutely batshit crazy. And that aspect of how adults treat work and deal with other things, they don't really get into, which I thought had been, again, a bit more compelling here. Again, it's just devolving into a bit of a very simplistic action sort of thing here. And I guess that's just the way it's going to end up going, because I see no reason for it changing. And I do agree with you. I do feel like it's leading towards a sense of gloom and doom, which isn't a bad thing. But the only way that really has that effect on you is if you have a little bit of hope, or you have a tiny little bit of hope with somebody you really like, or whatever. And so right now I'm going, yeah, Ethan's competent man. If he dies, I'd feel bad about it. And I get that the kids are supposed to be everything, but again, I don't have that one thing like, oh, this person needs to get their justice due, or this person really needs to get the big win. I'm not feeling that. It's just kind of bouncing around, and that's why they better in these last couple episodes start building that up. Because if they don't, then the end's just going to go out with a whimper and not with a bang. Get it? See how I tied all that together? The impotence, the bombs, the terrorist activity. Yeah, go figure.
I still think my joke is better.
Well, you can,
this music was the bomb.
The music was the bomb. Exactly. And of course, we technically don't know if Ben went bye-bye, but we know he got blown up there again while he was getting ready to have sex. So you put two and two together. There's two. Once might be an accident or just there, but twice is a pattern. So choke on that, writers. Any other final comments or thoughts about season 1, episode 7 of
I look forward to the next one. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree too. So there you guys have it. It's episode 7, nice little rewrap. Usually we get a bit more involved in the scenes here, but we're talking more about themes because we did agree that it's sort of pivoting here, and you can feel it going into the final act, which will be these last few episodes. And if you're a follower of the books, generally the first roughly 5 episodes, the first half of the season were more like book 1 and maybe a combination of 2, but then the second part of it's a little bit later. So keep that in mind. It is television. It's not the books. We don't expect them to be. We're just talking about what we like about it. And that's, again, what makes us extreme. For Professor Pixel, everybody involved here at the Extreme Movie Show, thanks for watching, listening. See you shortly at 7 p.m. for that Prince song, When Doves Cry, when we talk Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise and a robot. Have a good night. Stay extreme.
This is not